and welcome to the Livin the Pug Life Show, brought to you by Pug Parties, because your pug deserves to be the best dressed pug at the party. I'm your host, Donna, and my co-host tonight is Charles, who you can just see his little back just here as he's probably falling asleep on my lap, because apparently, that's the best thing to do at the show tonight. So I think we've been spoiled again, Puggies. Our last live stream episode before we go fully-fledged podcast is action-packed. And by action-packed, I mean not one, but 3 Puggies who have excelled at a sport that looks more fun than hard work, to be brutally honest. And they're senior pugs to boot, which means that if you've got a Puggie with a few more greys than years on their wrinkles, then you'll definitely want to hear all about Rexi, Ella and Sky's favourite sport, hoopers. So please join me in welcoming their humans, Leigh and Cerise, and the Puggies, Rexi, Ella and Sky. Yay! Hello, Puggies. As you're all popping up. Hello.
Hey. Hi.
Hello. It is wonderful to have you guys on the show after the technical difficulties of last week.
Yeah.
It just about made me cry, because I thought, I can't, everybody is missing out on these 3 beautiful Puggies. Look at them.
They're very naughty.
Oh,
I'm just trying to get Bruce to move closer so she's in the camera. She's got 2 pugs on her and she's a bit heavy to pull over.
Well, I was going to say, it's just because you guys have just gotten home, so everybody's very excited because mums are home, and then you're making them perform.
Yes, well, Ella's decided she wants to go back onto her couch. There we go.
Of course. Well, so that was Sky that just walked past.
There was Ella.
Oh, sorry, Ella. Sorry, doing the drive-by.
This one was Sky. This is little Sky. Sky's the limit is her name.
Cool.
And then little Rexi, who's doing his licky the air thing.
He's comfy, don't move him.
He's comfortable, don't move him, I was told. So I just moved the name. That one's Rexi.
That's why I have a Charles. You don't want to be angering your pugs at this time of the night.
No.
So, what inspired you guys to become pug parents?
Oh.
So I got our first pug back in South Africa when I was 21. I walked into a shop.
No, hold on. We had to go. So it was before, the whole backyard breeding thing, and we had gone to buy a parrot seed at the local pet store up the road.
What's
South Africa? 1997?
Yeah, a bit older. 19.
Anyway, doesn't matter. Sorry.
No, that's quite all right.
And you were 21.
Yeah,
98, 9. Okay, yeah, 2000. Whatever, doesn't matter. Sorry. I made her too old. Anyway, and I had to phone my mom and say, oh, hey, can you come pay for this dog? Because I told Cerise not to pick the puppy up. And she picked up the puppy. And it was a little pug that came home with us that very day.
Puggles.
His name was Puggles. And he was the best of boy. He lived to a ripe old age of, goodness.
Old.
Yeah, 18 or 19. He was really, yeah. And he was completely blind and deaf, but knew his way around. Like, you would see him walking around in the garden, and if he got lost, he'd walk till he found a spot, and then he'd be like, oh, I know where I am, and just turn around and head back into his bed. He knew where it was. Nothing was ever moved for him. Yeah.
So it started
with him. Yes.
Yeah. And we've never not had a pug.
No, yes.
I'm so jealous. I was in my early 20s before I got Fat Dog, my first pug. So completely understand. But he was also a rescue. So he come with his own challenges. But I can imagine having one pug to an entire family. Whose human was he?
Cerise.
There was no.
Yeah, we still had our border collies at that stage. So which were mine. Yeah. So the border collies were mine, and the pug was Cerise's because we had just lost her big dog, which is the lab cross. Okay, go down.
Alsatian.
Alsatian. Sorry, we're just having a few issues with dogs falling off things.
Yeah.
Sky, just put it on the couch. Let her go run around, whatever she wants to do. I'm just letting Sky go do whatever she wants to do.
It's whatever, they're the boss.
Yeah, she can just run around. You'll probably hear it around. Crazy thing. But yeah, Cerise was the first pug paw print. I can't say that.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's how we got into pugs.
Yeah.
I was going to say, there's nothing worse than you're the one that gets brings the pug into the family, and then they choose another member of the family to be their human.
And to be honest, that has happened to 2 of my black pugs. The next pug we got was a black pug named Tequila. She was awesome. She had attitude. But yeah, she bonded with my sister and not with me, and she was my pug. So that was devastating, I know. And then got Ella, and Cerise was here on holiday when I got Ella, and the same thing happened. I'm like, what is it?
So now Ella lives with me.
Yeah.
Cerise, you're the pug whisperer.
She is.
I love it. But surprisingly, Daxies hate me. Yeah. Sausage dogs can't stand me. I don't know.
Pugs and sausage dogs do have a love-hate relationship. So I can understand if you're the pug whisperer, they would put you in that category.
It's so embarrassing because all other dogs love me, and then the Dachshunds see me and they're like, and I'm like, oh. So it's like a fear now. I see them coming, and I'm just like, no. I would think I'm a mass murderer or something.
Oh, dearie me. So tell us a little bit about yourselves, because you're sisters. Yes. And then run us through how you met Rexi, Ella and Sky in whichever order you like.
Sure. So I was living over here in Australia, and we'd just moved into a rental that allowed dogs. And I never ever felt truly at home in Australia until I actually got Rexi. So I contacted a breeder who actually became a really good friend of mine. And just I landed up having like an hour and a half chat with her one day, like at work, never mind. Just about pugs and what, how all my pugs were back home in South Africa and things like that. And then 2 days later, she phoned and she said, I've been thinking about you, and I've decided not to keep this one little boy. So he's yours if you want him. And I was like, yes, okay, sure, yes. I know, I was so excited because I was prepared to wait, however long it took. Yeah. Anyway, and that night I drove over and got Rexi. It was a Friday night. I think Fremantle was playing football or something, so Gavin was at home watching the football. Phoned him and said, you need to get a dog bed, you need to get a dog ball, you need to get all this stuff because I'm going to fetch a puppy. Yep. And we got Rexi. So his registered name is Tarok Drunken Duncan. Yeah.
Wow. That's not a name that you can yell out at the dog park.
No. I do love it, and I wish I'd known it before, but because I got to choose the dog, Gavin felt that he had to then name the dog, and he chose Rex after T-Rex, which is, and that's one of Rexi's first toys, was that little dinosaur. So, yeah, and from there, he started becoming Sexy Rexi. I took him to all the normal obedience classes and whatnot. We got a blue heeler about the same time, who unfortunately had really bad hip dysplasia. And I'd signed him up for an agility class. And I was like, well, I've already paid for this. We'll just see if the pug likes it. And Rexi just took to it like a duck to water. And he just loves agility. He just thinks it's the best thing ever. He's gone to numerous seminars. He's gone to 2 nationals. He made it all the way to jumping masters. We couldn't ever really get the weaves, but they're a bit difficult on a good day, and look back and really see.
Trading on a bad day.
Then the breeder knew, Deb knew that I wanted a little black girl or black pug as well. And she gave me a call and she said, a breeder she knows in New South Wales has a black litter, and there's a little girl if I'm still keen. It's a breeder that they used to share lines and whatever. And yeah, we got a little Ella. So that was 2 years after, or 2.5 years after Rexi. And then Deb, like I said, retired to the Gold Coast, and she contacted me because she knew my sister loves pugs. And she said, oh, I've got this amazing little girl who would love a family home. Her name's Sky, who and I'd actually met her already because she was a show pug. So I'd seen her around at shows and I'd met her.
Yeah.
And she's sassy and cute. And Cerise said, yes, please, when can I fetch her?
The little princess.
She is a princess.
Oh, yeah.
Very clumsy. Oh, yeah.
Yes, it's not the most, coordinated child. Anyway. So, yeah, that's how we got these 3 hooligans.
Yes. Love it.
Yeah.
No, just love it.
And now they all live with me.
Yes.
And they all live with Cerise. How did that all work out?
Oh, well, Ella used to come stay with Cerise when Cerise used to live with me. And then when she moved out, Ella got a little sad. So Ella used to come stay on weekends. So I'd drop her off on a Friday, or Mom would drop her off on a Friday and I'd fetch her on a Sunday. Sleep over. And then when Cerise got Sky, she was worried she would get lonely during the day. I mean, we all know that. Oh, you need a grumble, don't you? And so she said, can Ella come stay with Sky? And I said, okay, sure. Ella would love that. Ella didn't really like Sky to start with, so Ella did not like that. She thought Sky was just, why do I have to share this person? And then and then Rexi was still at home with me, but he was really, really missing Ella because they're best of friends. I mean, they used to fly to nationals together in the same crate and stuff. So I said, oh, can Rexi come stay too? Because we only had big dogs left at our house. And Sue said, of course. And that's how she ended up with the 3.
All 3.
Yes.
And I can see that you're really annoyed about that too.
Oh, yeah. It does make sleeping very entertaining.
Very, very cozy.
Very cozy, yes. Sometimes it's good that we have hot summers because with the aircon on, even though they still separate out, so we all have our space. Although this one insists on sleeping on my head.
My God.
Okay.
Anyway. Oh yeah, she wants to play. She's like, why aren't we running around?
Yes. Completely understand that. I know. How dare we do this during playtime?
Anywho. Yes, so that's how the 3 of them landed up in the suburbs.
And then, Yeah.
That's all right.
I did get asked if I wanted to keep showing Sky, but that's definitely more a Leanne thing than me. I don't have the patience.
She is a very pretty pug, but yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so that's why we do hoops.
Yes, absolutely.
She needs to burn off energy.
Which we will get to, but before we get there, I want to know how would you describe their personalities? So, you had like a word or a phrase.
Oh,
Bossy
for Ella. Rexi's Mr. Laid Back, chill out surfer dude.
Yeah.
Like he even looks like a surfer. I always think he looks like a surfer whenever we go to Pugs in Perth functions because he's like got a more browny, bronzy color coat compared to the apricots or the true fawns.
Yeah.
So I always think he looks like the tan surfer cool dude. And then Sky's just crazy.
Cheeky. Yeah. Hello, monkey.
No, she's that poop crazy.
And he knows it.
Yes,
Oh.
and she just accepts that about herself and doesn't give a rat's.
Right. So having said that, what's their naughty traits?
Oh,
Rex definitely, as most pugs, they definitely like their food and they guard their food.
Yes. So Rexy gets fed away from Sky because Sky's the slowest eater.
Oh, yeah.
So he gets his food away from her so that he doesn't go and chase her away and eat all her dinner.
Yeah.
Sky's naughtiest. Oh, is not going to sleep when it's sleep time.
Yeah.
It's playtime. So she'll be passed out and you go to bed and then she's like, oh, okay, must be playtime. Must be playtime.
And this one, just if I make a move, so at night you get up, go get a glass of water or whatever. As soon as she hears me in the kitchen with me, and she won't go back to bed until I give her a treat. So she'll run and she'll hide, and then she'll whine at the bottom of the bed.
Oh.
When I'm like, well, you're not getting a treat, and I'll go back to bed, and then she'll just stand there.
Yeah, she definitely has Cerise well trained.
So next to my bed, I've got everything you can think of. I've had like a bottle of water, a bottle of juice, just so I don't have to come into the kitchen.
Oh, well, who can blame you when it's like it sounds like a lot of effort to go to the kitchen of a night time. Oh, but they're loved. That's the most important thing.
Oh, they're definitely loved. I wouldn't know what to do without them.
Now, I usually ask the question, what's their favourite activity? I think we've established that that's hoopers.
Definitely for Ella and Rexy. Sky's favourite activity is just to run around like a lunatic on the oval. So she appreciates that. Well, we like to harness that speed at hoopers and bring it down a few notches. But she really enjoys training as well. So
yeah.
I think she likes that interaction with us.
Yeah.
And obviously the treats.
Yeah.
But like sometimes she'll run straight to, if we'll chuck a treat at the end to teach them to run straight, even if she's running the long way around, she'll run around the hoops and just go straight for the treats. And it's like, no.
And what's the point, puppy?
Yes.
But we're working on that.
So so describe hoopers, because I did a bit of Googling and all that sort of stuff. So dogs navigate a course of hoops, barrels and tunnels with the same pace and excitement as agility, but the courses are flowing and don't involve tight turns, which means they're good for any age. That sort of...
Yeah, exactly. So in the lower levels, so we're still only, Rexy's at level 5, Ella is retired, but she's at level 4, and Sky's in level 3. We don't have tunnels yet. But the tunnels are much shorter than agility tunnels, so they're only 1 meter, and they're also 800 millimeters in diameter, so they're much bigger as well, so more welcoming for bigger dogs as well as puggies. And because the bars are on the ground, because there's no real bars, you're running under hoops, there's no impact on their joints or anything, and you can go as fast and as slow as you like. So Rexy likes to run because he thinks it's an agility course. And he's like, this is what I do. So he runs. I walk quickly for him because he's a pug. I mean, his run is
Run is a yes.
Little Sky is still getting her confidence in the sport, so she'll trot along.
Yeah, which is good for me.
Yeah.
I'm not a runner.
Yeah. So, and yes, they are very flowing, no real tight turns. And it's just a sport that any dog can do. So no matter if you've got a flat face, a long snout, a deep chest, you're too tall, like your Great Danes and your Mastiffs, because they can't really jump, or they shouldn't be jumping really high. There's no impact on their joints. It's great for seniors and puppies. So I've got my Kelpie puppy doing it at the moment. And it's just, and the whole the crowd of people that do it are just so nice.
It's great camaraderie because there's no, I'm not sure about over East, but over here there's no competitions.
Yeah.
So we do our assessments. You don't have to, but it is nice to see how they're progressing.
Yeah.
You know? And like the last one, we bombed. And it was just nice because everybody was still so encouraging.
Yeah.
And she did well. It was me who bombed because
It's always the handler.
I got because they start
It's always
and I muddle up the front cross in there, you know, and it's like, and the poor dog's just looking at me.
Yeah.
So eventually I'm just like, do whatever you want.
But everyone is just so supportive, and you know, you don't, or not, the agility fraternity here in WA is really nice and supportive as well, even when running a pug, which is not a normal or usual agility dog. So they were always very welcoming as well. But I think just the fact that it's not a competitive thing, like it's just you with your dog doing something fun, that just adds another, I don't know, it's more relaxing. You don't get as like, worked up.
They don't have to be registered.
No, because it's not an ANKC sport. So it's open to any dog.
Yeah.
So whether it's a pet dog, whether it's anything and anyone.
Yeah.
So you could probably teach a cat, but I don't have the patience for that.
Neither would I. So we'll take a step back. How did you get involved with Hoopers in the first place?
Okay. So a friend of mine, a really good friend of both of ours, actually, Serena, found a Hoopers course that was starting up near Cerise's house. And she was going to take one of her older girls who was battling with jumping, and said, oh, why don't you bring Ella? Because Ella really missed agility, you know.
Yeah.
She really enjoys training, little Ella. She's a really clever little thing. And I was like, oh, okay, we can give this a go. And we went down. Cerise would come and watch. Rexi and Scar would both come watch as well. And I was like, oh, this is just like agility with bars on the ground. It's great. I love this. And little Ella thought it was the best thing ever. So when assessment came around, I got both her and Rexi assessed for level 1 because I'm like, oh, Rex can do this. You know, he had done a few practice sessions during the 6-week course as well. And then I said to Cerise, are you keen to give it a go with Sky? And she said, oh, yes, please. So I was like, okay. Unfortunately, that instructor had knee operation or hurt her knee, so I had to have an operation. So the course that we had booked, sorry, Ella's trying to get off the couch. So the course we had booked for her had been cancelled. But then, just to go on the couch. Oh, gosh. Ella doesn't want to go on the couch. She's just sitting in Cerese's arms now. Where was I? Oh, so then Serena again found a course for us on a Sunday morning with our wonderful instructor that we still have now. And I booked Sky in. At that stage, Cerise worked shifts, so Cerise could only work Sky every second week. So I would take her every other week. And yeah, she just loved it so much.
She did very well with the end.
Yeah. And then the other two would come with as well, because where one goes, all go. Can't possibly leave anyone at home. Can't leave anyone at home. Yeah, goodness gracious.
Yes.
And then just went on from there. So we train every Sunday. The pugs have a break, actually. I do lie. We don't train them in summer.
Yeah.
So the term 1, we didn't do anything with them. It's just too hot. Like they do start earlier in the day. So you start at 7:30 in the morning, but it's still too hot for the pugs. It's just not worth it. So they only train. Well, I only let them train term 2 and 3, and then term 4. And then when it starts getting hot, they don't go anymore. Yeah. So it's just and they love it. So
absolutely. Well, by the looks of the photos and the looks on their faces in all their action shots, I'm not surprised that they love it, because it does look like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. And it's great. I recommend it to anyone, actually. It's just so much fun. It's just,
No, agreed. So you measure. So I've got to remember it's Rexi and Ella both
Yes.
did agility.
they
Rexi
did.
was a national champion.
Well, no, he wasn't a national champion. I wish he was.
Yeah,
national
yeah.
champion. Oh my goodness, I would be boasting from this thing. No, but they both went to nationals. Rexi's been to 2 nationals, and little Ella's been to 1. It was actually at a nationals where I decided it would be a bit. Ella had to jump 300. So in agility, there's different heights depending on how tall you are.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they don't take into account dog breed or how deep your chest is or anything like that. So Ella was jumping higher than she is tall just because of the cutoffs. And at the nationals, I noticed as she jumped, she flicked her back up. And I just wasn't very happy with that, and she'd get a sore back. So she retired actually really early from agility, which she thought was very sad. I did used to take her to another agility competition in WA. It's bigger over east, but we have it here as well, called AEST, where she only has to jump 150.
Yeah.
And she really enjoyed that because basically she just flew around the course because it's lower than her. But and little Rexi was a superstar. He got all the way up to jumping masters, which is the highest you can go in jumping, before I retired him. And the reason for his retirement was out of all 3 pugs, he's got the worst eyes, bless his little soul. Sometimes it's just the luck of the draw. I mean, his full brother is with a friend of mine. He's got no eye problems. It's just Rexi, unfortunately, does. And when he's running in the sun, he couldn't see properly because his eye, the keratitis in one of them was really bad. So he retired, but I think he misses it. Like, he used to go to training even after we stopped competing. But so and that's why I was glad to find Hoopers, because he just thinks it's the best thing ever. He's just like, well, I got this. Chillax. So, I know I barely train him, and I always chuck him in for the assessment, and he always gets it first go. So I'm very lucky. He's a good boy.
He's such an amazing dog.
Such a good man.
Yeah, I sometimes think he doesn't even need Leanne there.
Yeah.
You can just put him on the
Probably.
course and
Just
he'll do whatever.
He used to do that quite often in agility, especially if I messed something up. He'd be like, see ya, I'm going to go find Serena and the treats. I'm going to go find Cerise and the treats. But yeah.
Just not fair.
Yeah.
But
and then
show us your ribbons. These are really impressive.
So this one here, so these are the canine Hoopers ribbons. So this is level 1. So you get this when you pass your assessment, which is great because I'm such a ribbon person. I'm like, yeah, give me the pretty stuff. Like,
hey, you should have had them lined up on the wall.
They are all hung up. This was level 2s. I think level 3's at my house. Yeah. I'm not sure where it is. And and then so each one you get a different color ribbon. And it's just nice. It's a nice memento that you passed a level. And I like I said, I love it because we didn't win very many ribbons in agility. We'd always come 2nd or 3rd or 4th or last, I mean, we've won a few classes, but we did the Steve Bradbury.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to fall over.
I don't believe it.
You still had to go. You still had to jump clean, and you still had to make time. So, and then little Pug, this is one of her ribbons that she won. It's a show ribbon from the Oriental breed. I mean, it's bigger than her head.
It's our favourite ribbon.
Oh, yeah, literally. The ribbon head is bigger than Sky's head. It looks like it's bigger than my head, to be honest.
It's probably
it's like human size.
She's a very pretty pug.
She is very pretty.
And smaller in stature.
Yeah,
than the other two.
She's smaller than Rexi and
not
Ella.
Bulky. Hey.
But yeah, so yes, I love Hoopers just because I can get pretty ribbons.
Big attitude.
So
it seems like a win-win to me, to be honest. They like it for the fitness, you like it for the ribbons.
Exactly. It's just a great way to just.
And Cerise likes it because it blows off some steam.
Yeah, it makes it outside.
Sometimes I've got a pretty small house, and the way she tears around it sometimes, I'm just like,
My God.
look what's gonna break.
Yeah. Hopefully not the dog. Hopefully not the dog.
But it's funny because sometimes she'll be doing zoomies out the garden around the house, and then these two, Rex, sometimes he stays on the couch, but Ella, they always have to investigate, and then Ella will get in the way, and this poor thing will smack straight into Ella. And I say this poor thing because Ella just stands there like a rock.
She's a wall.
And this one's just like, so when you hear me, I'll be like, watch Ella. And it's not for Ella. It's for her.
It's crazy. Bless her.
Terrible. Even though I can understand Charles and his brother Winston when they first come to live with us, they were still young enough, even though they were rescues, to do zoomies. And they would do it around the couch. But Charles was the sort of pug that loved, just kept going round, whereas Winston was very cunning / lazy. So Winston would cut a couple of laps, and then he'd go, why am I, look, you'd see the look on his face, why am I doing this? So he'd stop because Charles would be chasing him. He'd let Charles run past him, and then he'd just turn around, and then Charles would come flying around the couch, and then come to this screaming halt when he could see that Winston was just sitting there waiting for him. And so then Charles would do like this 180 and then start sprinting back around the other way. And Winston would just sort of pick his butt up, turn around, sit back down. Henry used to sit there laughing. And poor old Charles, he'd come screaming around the corner and then come to a grinding halt. How did you get there so fast? He'd turn around and run back around.
That is so funny. That used to happen to Rexi with our blue heeler puppy, because because they were both puppies together, and Rexi would run circles around these giant bean bags that we had for the step kids, and the blue heeler would chase, and then the blue heeler would be like, why didn't I just go over? And he'd just be like, over with this. And Rexi would be like, whoa, okay, change of direction.
It's just insane. So when we were talking the other night, there are a couple of things you told me that we have to share. So where did you find Ella asleep?
Oh, where did we find Ella asleep? Oh, no, I can't remember now.
Everywhere.
On the dining table?
Oh, on the dining table.
Yes, you came home.
Sorry.
And you didn't know how she got up
She
there.
sleeps in all the weird places. Let me tell you. No, yes, I got home from work and she was just napping on the dining room table in the wash basket. I mean, there was a wash basket time and it was just the normal time as well. And she had managed to rock the dining room chair out, get up, and it rocked back into place. So you couldn't work out how this dog got up there. And you're just like, what is going on here? But the worst one was Puggles, a pug in South Africa.
Yeah.
So we always used to have Christmas dinners or Christmas lunch at our house in South Africa. And Mom had all the spread out and everything. And all the chairs had been moved away to the side, you know. And he had managed to get up onto the dining room table. Oh, not dining table. He managed to get up on the piano, walk across the chairs, onto the table with the food. And Cerise and I went in there and he was chowing down on the chicken.
But luckily everybody had eaten.
No, nobody had eaten yet.
We just didn't have seconds.
Oh, we hadn't had seconds. Whatever. I thought we hadn't eaten yet. In my memory, we hadn't eaten yet. And we're like, save the chicken. So we grabbed the chicken out of his mouth, put him on the ground, sort of just covered up the party ate and left it there with, garnish. Just put some garnish there. Can't notice the big crumb.
It's a paper towel, the slobber.
We only had gammon for seconds that day. Oh, and Ella's favorite treat is carrot. She really likes carrots.
But don't give her celery and banana.
I don't blame her
Hates
for the
bananas.
celery.
She loves them in a
To give them
smoothie.
bananas.
Oh, aren't she?
I don't think so.
Oh, she doesn't eat it, so it doesn't matter.
Good then.
But she likes it in the smoothies.
Oh my god, I don't think she's meant to.
Can you give them bananas?
Yeah, I think you can. I'll have to double check.
I don't know.
Because I give them the baby food smoothie pouches on their licky mats.
Yeah.
to keep them busy.
I
Only
do
buy
like
the
Licky
organic one.
Oh,
So
you don't need to buy organic. Studies have shown that organic and normal, there's not much difference other than the hurt you feel buying organic. Don't listen to her.
Lucky Puggies, that's all I'm hearing.
well, it is still the Aldi's organic range. It's not the
Lucky Puggies.
It is actually a good treat for them. They do like it, especially on licky mats, calms them down.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. No,
Yeah.
Rosie and Charles have got the Rolly treat balls. So that
Oh.
as they push them and play with them, treats fall out.
Yeah, we can't really do that with Rexi.
Because he's a guts.
Yeah, he's a guts, and he would probably be like, "Get away from my ball." And
It's like scared of balls, big balls. She's got a big soft football, and if it's still, she likes it. But if you roll it, she doesn't like it.
Well, I was going to say, speaking of Rex and his gutsiness,
yes.
he did manage to steal a whole sandwich.
Oh. Yes. Mom was visiting before they moved here, and she was sitting on the recliner in the lounge room. Rexi was much younger at that stage and more sparkly. And yeah, as she lifted her sandwich to her mouth, the pug actually flew across and grabbed it and ran away with her sandwich.
Yes.
And it was one of those moments where you're like, did that just happen? Like,
you need CCTV in your house 24/7 so you can capture these moments.
Because you're like, that just happened. And then you look at your mom and she's holding like the corner of the and I'm like, oh, maybe that did just happen. So naughty.
And he loves tea. So he'll steal your tea.
Yes, mom used to let him. Well, in South Africa, my pop and my mom and my gran always used to give their dogs some tea. After dinner, they have their tea, and then Pop would always pour some of his tea in the saucer because you always have tea in a cup and saucer. And so when mom was here and she'd have tea, she'd always be like, "Oh, here, Rexi, do you want some?" And Rexi now thinks tea is the best thing ever. And you can't actually leave your teacup anywhere near him. He doesn't do coffee though.
No, thank goodness.
But
I drink coffee.
Yeah,
You tried once.
tea.
It didn't last long.
And you think my mom would learn her lesson, but she's done the same thing with one of the Kelpie girls at home. And now Lily just drinks her tea whenever she feels like it because Lily can get up anywhere. And then she's like, "Oh, tea." And I'm like, "Oh my goodness."
This one does investigate though. So you got to watch her. She'll climb on the side table next to the chair and be like, "Woo!"
Yeah.
But because she's a bit clumsy, it might go whoops over the side.
Yeah.
So you got to be quick.
The other favorite hobby is when my dad's here. They like to sit near him when he's eating because they know that they'll get something. So
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Bobby in my house does that too. He brings, not that Rosie's only got 3 teeth left, so she can no longer have this treat, much to her disgust. But he brings bacon bones over for them.
Oh.
But literally, and I haven't seen this. My mum has faithfully reported though that he will go up to the deli in whatever supermarket and literally make them go through all of the bacon bones to find 2 pug-sized pieces of the same size, so that one doesn't get more than the other, and it's just and tell him that
to be fair, I'm
absolutely,
with his match.
And so, of course, Dad was devastated when I rang him and said, "You can't bring bacon bones over anymore because Rosie can't eat them."
Oh.
And it's like you can't see it, but she has 1 tooth up here and then 1 on this side and 1 on that side, and they're not even like opposing teeth. So she doesn't have two toofuses to gnaw on.
Oh, she'll just be gummy.
Yeah, she'll need a gummy.
Doesn't change her attitude to wanting food, even if she can't eat it. That's
Yeah.
It's the same as the slot.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, what Sky's doing at the moment, Rosie does. The difference is now we don't have to worry about losing fingernails.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Losing
yeah.
a finger.
I know, she's like, no.
I know, and it's always the canine.
I'm like, dude, you're not even teething anymore. You're 4.
5 now.
Oh, 5 now. Oops,
Yeah, we had
sorry.
a birthday.
Got tasty fingers. That's what
Yes.
you
Oh, man. I must have some good fingers. Yeah.
She's a
And
good girl.
nose. Oh, every now and then she goes for a nose shot.
So one of my favourite questions is,
Hmm.
Rexi, Ella and Sky, what's their favourite outfit? If they have one, of course.
Okay, well, Ella's favorite is actually her
pajamas.
fleecy pajamas.
This one there.
Oh, they're just the DGG ones, so the doggone gorgeous warmy. So it's a fleecy one, and she
Yeah.
just thinks it's the best thing ever. She could live in this if she wanted to. I'll go find the other one. Where's the one with the pugs on it? The jackets.
Oh,
No, I can't find it now. But I bought them. A friend of mine makes jackets, and she made them beautiful. Actually, Cerise can talk to you. I'm going to go find it. She made them beautiful jackets with their names on.
there's one
Everything.
on
Oh,
the
nice.
But yes, and Rexy, not so much. He hates.
You
jumpers.
chase him around to put him in something. He
He's
doesn't
a
like
native
it.
boy.
Yeah.
He likes
And
to
then
go
so
natural.
even if he's cold, he tries to run away. And then once you put it on him, he'll, be uncomfortable and then he's fine. But it's sometimes he just hides. And then you got to know,
Yeah.
where's the stuff? And this one, her best, my favorite of hers is she's got an Easter bunny outfit for Easter. And she's got floppy ears. I'll get Leigh and send you the picture. That's my favorite. But shame, she can only wear it when I hold her because I don't know what she does, but she stands on the ears and then ends up pulling everything over. And so we basically put her in
She becomes like a basset hound.
Take a photo and then that's it.
You'll have to pin them up.
Look at this cute.
Wow, get a load of that.
Yeah, so a friend of mine makes them, and so she made them each one. Isn't that sweet?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I use it as a blanket more for them now. For Rexy, he likes blankets.
Yeah, so we pretend it's a blanket.
So when he's on the bed, I'll drape it over him like a blankie, but I won't attach it, to him because then I know he'll get irritated.
Little cranky.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a cranky pants. But yeah, Ella definitely heard that. And Sky doesn't like. We like her in her bunny outfit. She doesn't like us in her bunny outfit.
That's because she knows she's beautiful all on her own.
I know. Well, and also because I see all these amazing pug parents that do like all these photo shoots where they have their gorgeous dogs have their gorgeous dogs all in these outfits, whether they're dressed like elves for Santa or
we try.
And no, it never works for us. It just always ends in a disaster.
Every puggy has their thing. That's fine.
Yeah. The thing Rexy does like is all his beds. So he has a pineapple bed and a sharky bed. And a chaise lounge. Yes, a chaise lounge. Because I have a problem with beds. I'm like, you can never have enough.
But we even got the Costco massive one.
Oh yeah, I bought that like a Great Dane size one.
Yeah.
I have a problem.
I was like, everybody needs that bed.
Yeah.
And I bought 2 because Leanne asked me to get one for their
for our big dogs.
For their big dogs.
Yeah.
And then I was like, the pugs need one too. But it's massive.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight, Leigh and Cerise. It's been awesome getting to know Rexy, Ella and Sky.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I'm so sorry about what happened last week. I'm glad that we managed to reschedule and at least pre-record. So if anything goes wrong when we actually air it, we've got the pre-recordings all good to go.
Perfect.
Thank God. And so thank you so much to our Puggy audience for watching tonight. And I hope you had as good a time as I did getting to know Rexy, Ella and Sky. Now, we'll be hanging around after the show to respond to everyone's messages. And it's not too late to say hello and tell us what you loved about tonight's show with Rexi, Ella and Sky. Now, don't forget, the Living the Pug Life live stream show is going full audio. That's right. Over the last 6 months, Pug Parties team has been working on converting the live show into a podcast. And I'm very happy to announce that the Pug Life Show, or podcast, will go live on Sunday, the 7th of August at 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time and will be the weekly Sunday night release. The Pug Life Show will still share the stories of ordinary puggies, just like our friends Rexi, Ella and Sky, and their pug life. Plus, we'll share the slightly tragic but ultimately wonderful rescue stories that end happily ever after. Meet businesses that want to make our puggies' lives better with their goods and services. Plus, we'll also discuss topics that are important to us, such as why being a crazy pug lady is actually the best job in the world. And I'm sure that Leigh and Cerise will agree with me on that one.
Yes, for sure.
So the Live in the Pug Life Facebook group will still be our place to talk pug and announce our episode topics. So please continue to share your thoughts and opinions on each episode and topic we cover each week. We'll always be there to share in the conversation as well. So Puggies, although this is goodbye for the full-time live stream series, because you never know when we might have a surprise live show, it's hello to the podcast and being able to talk pug wherever you go, no matter what you're doing. So until next time, Puggies, have a awesome week, and humans, be generous with the snackies. And I'll kisses to Sky and Ella and who have I forgot? Rexi as well. Say bye.
Bye. Rex is like, what are you doing, crazy woman?
And Ella's just on the couch.